Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. According to a survey conducted by SW Research for the Rzeczpospolita portal, Poles do not see Donald Tusk as Prime Minister if the opposition parties were to come to power. Instead, survey participants pointed to Tusk's current rival, Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski. Does this mean that there will be a change of leader in the Civic Platform party in the near future? Respondents indicated that if Civic Platform were to win, the post of Prime Minister should go to current Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski. In the political arena, Donald Tusk is the leader unquestionably, but Rafał Trzaskowski is also such a leader. Maybe it is time for a generational change. Maybe it's time for the leader to be someone younger. If Tusk's weakening position were to continue in the coming months, there could be a change of leader of the Civic Platform. Such a scenario was used during the 2020 presidential campaign, when Małgorzata Kidawa-Błońska, who had very low support in polls conducted shortly before the election, withdrew. Donald Tusk will not be able to afford such a move. He returned to politics today because he wants to return to power at all costs. Between 2007 and 2014 he meant something, and then it got worse. Donald Tusk is not Małgorzata Kidawa-Błońska, who resigned because of the polls. Donald Tusk was supposed to return on the famous White Horse. As it turned out, Civic Platform is unable to cross the 30% threshold in the polls. This glass ceiling includes the achievements of 8 years of Donald Tusk's government. One of them was raising the retirement age. We make this decision not because we expect people to rejoice that we are making this decision, but with full knowledge that in a dozen years or so, we will not be able to pay pensions if we do not carry out this and other subsequent steps. Everyone remembers those difficult times when Donald Tusk was in power. High unemployment, low wages, those were the times that Poles faced just 7 years ago, when Donald Tusk was Prime Minister of Poland. One of Donald Tusk's problems is the issue of having a large negative electorate. For the most part, these are former platform voters who were disappointed with Tusk's government. It seems that it is beginning to occur to him that he is an unelectable politician, that he should give way to younger and more capable opposition politicians. Such a long presence of Donald Tusk on the political scene also has an impact on voting preferences. According to columnist Agaton Kozinski, the opposition lacks a fresh face. He has made so many controversial decisions. Poles have simply grown tired of him, and Poles would like a change, which this poll best shows. And that change is not there. Certainly Donald Tusk's experience will be his gain if he manages to become Prime Minister, but it will certainly be a very heavy burden in the election campaign. In contrast, according to an Ipsos poll commissioned by OKO Press and TOK FM, the majority of respondents, 63%, do not want Donald Tusk to return as Prime Minister. Day 314 of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. According to British intelligence, the period of the strongest offensive by Russian forces in the vicinity of Bakhmut has already passed, and further successes by the Russian Federation in the area, at least in the near term, are unlikely. Our special correspondent in Ukraine, Witold Newelic, has been observing the daily life of civilians during the Christmas and New Year period. Yesterday evening, a missile hit the village of Droskivka, which I passed while returning from Bakhmut on the 1st of January. It was aimed at a sports hall where humanitarian aid was stored. There, before the explosion, was a logistical centre, and it was from there that humanitarian aid went, among other things, to the residents of Bakhmut, who were tormented by the nightmare of war. In addition, the Russians have renewed their drone attacks. Missiles fell on Nikopol and in the Kherson region. On the front, the Russians launched a very decisive attack north of Bakhmut, near Solidar. The Russians launched an assault on the Ukrainian defence and unfortunately managed to take some ground there. However, this does not threaten to encircle Bakhmut. The defenders of Bakhmut are holding their positions. On Sunday and Monday, bombs rained down on this city, and the artillery shelling is practically unending. However, the people of Ukraine are very happy that temperatures have jumped up, and it is well above zero. As a result, electricity from a great many photovoltaic farms is feeding the power system. Today is the first day when there were no power outages before 2 p.m. from the network. Of course, Ukrainian services are always continuing to repair the damage caused by the attacks 4 days ago. The very important news is that the Russians, announcing the remobilization, have decided to increase this contingent of troops for military operations in Ukraine well above 300,000. As it is known that these 300,000 troops have been mobilized, some of them have gone to the front, and some will go to the front soon. Of course, The actions of the Ukrainian HIMARS are doing their job, not only in Makeyevka, but also in the Kherson region. The HIMARS have hit a grouping of Russian troops where enemy losses are very serious. Croatia starts the new year with a new currency as it becomes a 20th member of the Eurozone. The Balkan nation of around 4 million people also officially entered Europe's visa-free Schengen zone on Sunday, nearly a decade after joining the European Union.
While entering the Schengen area is widely seen as a positive in Croatia, where tourism from neighboring European countries is a key pillar of the economy, adopting the euro has led to fierce debate, particularly in the face of a global economic downturn. Prices in Croatian shops and supermarkets have been shown in both kunas and euros for the last 6 months, as the country prepared to switch fully to the euro. Some business owners see this as an opportunity to streamline their operations and reach out to new markets. In the last 20 years, all trade has been communicated and agreed upon in euros. In fact, nobody at that time talked about loans or purchasing an apartment in local currency, but only in euros. So the market is ready for that, and it will just make doing business easier. Other experts say that fully adopting the euro will end confusion around currency transactions and make things simpler for Croatian traders and consumers. It will be a big deal. This monetary fog that nobody understands will disappear. Like, what is foreign currency? What is national currency with the foreign currency clause? All of that will disappear. The accountants will become simpler and cleaner, and everything will be in euros. The governments, the privates, the bank balance, all of those. But not everybody believes ditching the national currency is the best move, with many worried that prices will go up, as retailers round up new prices in euros following conversion from kunas. Ivan Lovrinovic, professor of economics and a former member of parliament, said that at a time of global economic turmoil, keeping control of Croatia's domestic currency should have been the priority. The question now is why the countries more developed than Croatia and more prepared for Eurozone membership, like Hungary, Czech Republic, Poland, don't even think about adopting the euro. Why? Because in the current destabilized geopolitical conditions, the most important thing is to keep your national currency so you can control the crisis.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather and Poland Daily Business and more programs. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.